The U.S. Security Service is facing heat over how former U.S. President Donald Trump ended up in a gunman's crosshairs. An independent U.S. government-appointed watchdog is investigating the handling of security for Donald Trump. At the campaign rally, the assassin was stationed barely 130 yards from the dais and shot 5 bullets at Trump before he was neutralized. On Monday, the Homeland Security Secretary, who oversees the U.S. Secret Service, said the 20-year-old gunman should never have allowed a clear line of sight on the former president. The Republican panel has called U.S. Secret Service Chief Kimberly A. Chittle to explain what led to the security lapse on the 22nd of this month. Chittle, meanwhile, has provided a rather bizarre detail of what happened at the Pittsburgh rally. Asked why no agent was present on the rooftop of the warehouse, she says it was too risky for an agent to be stationed there. Chittle said the sloppy design was dangerous for any agent. Tactical operations experts have denounced her answer. Retired FBI supervisory special agent and Army veteran James Gagliano says he failed to understand the reasoning. Washington GOP congressional candidate Joe Kent, a former Army Special Forces officer, asked how Chittle identified the building as a threat but did not secure the rooftop. Chittle has headed U.S. Security Service since 2022. She's the agency's 27th director, succeeding James Murray. The service is a federal law enforcement agency under the Department of Homeland Security. It is tasked with protecting American politicians, their families, and visiting heads of state or government. Donald Trump, who has lifetime Secret Service protection like other former presidents, was swarmed by agents who then rushed him away. But moments after the former U.S. president was hit, a video from the incident shows how agents formed a human shield around Trump. A shorter female officer was protecting the Republican candidate from the front, while Trump's head was exposed. Although the U.S. Secret Service managed to extricate Trump, the personnel appeared panicked and not in command of the situation. Our correspondent Susan Teherani is now joining us live from New York. Hi, Susan. Chittle seems to be in more trouble than what appears, and of course her weird answers when she was summoned, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was during an ABC interview, and her bizarre answer about how there weren't any security on top of that building because of its sloped roof has not only captured the attention of memes on social media and jokes, but also a very serious situation has really unfolded as to how was it that that building was safe from the inside, but no one checked the roof. And this comes amidst videos after videos from eyewitness accounts coming out, basically showing that there were just regular average Americans calling on law enforcement and showing crooks on that roof. We just heard again today, just new reports keep coming in, Eric, as I mentioned. We've heard today that the Secret Service had a tip 3 hours in advance of crooks being on that roof top. But nonetheless, you know, Chittle has been summoned. She's going to have a hearing on Capitol Hill. Today, for the first time, Mike Johnson, the House Speaker, publicly called for her resignation during that ABC interview in which she talked about the sloped roof. She says that she doesn't plan on going anywhere. She doesn't want to resign, but the heat is absolutely on her. And the situation just gets more bizarre with each passing day.
Talk more about this heat on the security apparatus in the United States. This incident on Trump has really exposed the security apparatus, including the secret services. Despite their efforts to increase security for all the presidential aspirants, including Robert Kennedy Jr., and Americans agitating for a complete overhaul, what are the measures being done behind the scenes to ensure that such an incident doesn't happen anymore, or rather, save their image?
Whether or not, incidents like this should happen anymore, the positive aspect that came out of this incident was, as you mentioned, RFK Jr., who had been literally begging the Biden administration for Secret Service, considering the fact that he's an independent candidate. His father was assassinated. His uncle was assassinated. Still, he wasn't provided security. And then on the other hand, there are reports by some House members that the Trump campaign had called for increased security, not in light of that threat that we've heard of possible assassination attempt by Iran, but in light of just these outdoor rallies that the former president holds. Some indicate right now from the House lawmakers are saying that that security wasn't provided to the former president. Again, we're hearing from the Secret Service that they beefed up security for the former president. But this is just become an echo chamber of what to do next, on the one hand, and second of all, who would be held accountable. Many are saying that ultimately no one will be held accountable, just like no one was held accountable for those 13 service members who were killed in Afghanistan and some other incidents as well. It's very hard to get a seated official like Kimberly Cheadle, to step aside unless President Biden does it or an administration changes. But nonetheless, everyone is waiting to see what measures will be taken after this.
Well, live at the United Nations headquarters in New York, that is our correspondent Susan Teherani. Susan, thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.